Welcome to the In Season podcast, rated R for language.
None of us are doctors or neurologists. Things you're about to hear are opinions of people living with epilepsy or seizures. These are firsthand experiences. Epilepsy can cause speech problems, and medications are hard to pronounce, so please bear with me. Epilepsy can cause bad memory, so some stories will be repeated. I'm Pookie. Get ready.
It says attitude is everything. Hello, I'm a huge believer of attitude and of being aligned with oneself. I follow Abraham Hicks, who speaks a lot about manifestation and universal laws that govern our time, the space reality. I'm burping so much. It says, and universal laws that govern our time space reality. I wanted to pose this question with compassion, obviously. What and how do you feel about this quote? Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. Hard quote sometimes to swallow in the trenches of epilepsy, but I wanted to ask you all, does your attitude, thoughts, and beliefs help you with the struggle of this disease? If so, how do you personally try to keep the attitude is everything approach to living with epilepsy? I just didn't let it bother me. I just kept trying to live life, and yeah, don't let it get to you. I don't think about such things. Once I got to a certain point in life, like down 5 years, after 5 years, I was just used to it, and yeah, and 10% of what happens to you and 90 of what you react to.
I definitely agree to that.
Maybe way newer to epilepsy than I am.
Well, it's definitely true. I would think.
Life
You were
is
talking
10%.
Yeah, I think so. I think how you react to what comes up during your day is more important than what comes up during the day. Whatever, would come up, your reaction is going to determine whether it was good or bad. So, like, you have a diagnosis of epilepsy, either it's the worst thing in the world or, okay, I'll deal with it. Right?
Right.
I mean, that's how I feel. I feel like, we wander around aimlessly, bumping into things, and we act upon what happens when we bump into those things. And the philosophy 101.
I mean, that's a good, I mean, an interesting and good little tie off at the end there, the philosophy 101, because really when you boil that quote down to the philosophical underpinnings, I mean, it's basically just like a modern pop culture repackaging of Marcus Aurelius or Plato's, Stoicism philosophy that um that um that are oh man, I'm forgetting. I could have sounded so deep if I had that all like right off memorized off the top of my head. But there uh where was it?
Were those philosophers just basically backing up that point that, decisions are more important than the circumstance?
Well, that mindset and what you make of your thoughts and of the situation that you're in are more important than the objective situation itself. In a lot of cases, because we are not living in, you know, um, yeah, where was it? That's not. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. It is your your estimate, your belief in the size, the significance of the diagnosis of epilepsy that makes it seem such a big, insurmountable beast. But you don't have to view it that way. Um, spend time looking around, reading, talking to people, other people who have epilepsy, and you know that that estimate of the size, the scale, the struggle of living with epilepsy will change radically. And the what seemed like a big beast before is, you know, far more manageable. Um, when you just do something as simple as talk to other people about it. It's interesting how frequently this kind of the cognitive behavioral therapy and the stoicism that Annie brought up um, a few weeks ago really keeps coming up. Oh, smart lady.
Love to see when things finally match up and people start benefiting from it.
Hmm.
Yeah, in the comments right here, someone says, I don't see a correlation between the two. Your attitude is not going to change your epilepsy or effects on your body. And no matter how positive or negative my attitude may be, I'm still going to be very terrible epilepsy. Still going to have very, very terrible epilepsy. It's just one of the things you got to live with. I want to be honest, positively. Thinking won't help the epilepsy or any type of disease. Positive thinking won't help me lessen seizures. No matter if I'm thinking positively or negatively, I still get seizures. To be honest, this quote is so stupid and ignorant because my attitude won't affect my frequency of seizures. I'll still have seizures no matter what. What matters is that I take my medicine consistently. This is just wishful thinking. Non-epileptics think they know it all. Another one says plenty of plenty of research has been done with the power of positive thinking and proven that it does improve your quality of life, even with terminal and chronic illness. I'm a millennial, so I struggle with finding the positives. I once saw us called generation no one wanted. And I can't say I disagree. But I have seen my positive attitude, outlook makes someone's life easier. I just struggle with it myself. Two more things. It says, thanks for sharing. Agreed. Positive thinking likely will never take away from this shit ass disease. Just curious if anyone feels drawn to positive thoughts to keep the positive attitude, and if that helps them get through the trenches. Also, this is Rachel saying this. Rachel wrote this. Not Rachel with the A. Rachel with the AE. And then Mark, you responded here. So it's very long and looks very thoughtful and factful, but I will not go through it this time. You know what you wrote. It's all that matters.
I mean, I have a vague idea of what I might have written. I honestly I don't remember commenting in that. So I kind of want
Well,
to
you
go
make me
see
want to
what
read
it
it
is.
now. So,
Oh, here's the
Well, I
true
have.
test. Do you remember who Rachel is?
Yes. Yes, actually I do. My sister's name is Rachel, which is part of how that stands out in my memory. She wore the hat with the little ears, right?
no, that's Rachel with an A.
Oh,
The other Rachel,
what?
she drives. She just had the craniotomy.
I don't remember meeting the second Rachel. I only remember the I mean that hat is awesome. I love that
Yeah,
hat. So
I love that
yeah.
hat. But yeah, my Mark, here's your post. I shall read just because it is very interesting. As long as it
Oh
is.
God. I'm kind of feeling like I might be a little embarrassed here.
Let me
I
jog
don't
your memory real quick.
uh,
Says that quote sounds like a modern repackaging of ancient Stoic philosophy. Particularly, it reminds me of Marcus Aurelius's thoughts on thoughts. LOL. You have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Accept the things to which you to which binds you and the love, the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all of your heart. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Reject your sense of injury, and injury itself disappears. That was the quote from Marcus Aurelius. Marcus was a cool dude. So many people on this focus way too much on their sense of injury and injustice and unfairness that is living life with epilepsy. IMHO,
in my humble opinion.
in my humble opinion. Okay, I'm learning more of these abbreviations. That's the word for them.
I mean, these were the cool Reddit lingo back like 15 years ago when I was the cool young Reddit kid. So I don't know what the
Okay.
modern things are.
Okay. Says I deal with my epilepsy itself as necessary, but I don't dwell on how it'll ever go away and how difficult it makes things that are trivial for others, focusing on and revolving my whole inner life around how easy it could have been if I only didn't get seizures. It all does literally nothing except make me miserable and stressed, which would probably end up triggering more seizures, ironically enough. What, in quote, might have been is irrelevant. That is my life, epilepsy and autism that can never change. And it's the only life I get. So it's complete waste not to aim to what the best of it, both personally and for those around me. It's not fair. So what? Deal with the struggles you face without comparing them to others, because when you do, what you're actually comparing yourself to is not the reality of others, but rather what you imagine their life to be. I'm a Christian first and foremost, though, if you were if we're talking about absolute core beliefs, I don't want to be the cliche preachy type, but my faith has helped me cope with the discovery of my epilepsy, and I think Jesus and Marcus could have been bros. That's very in depth, but yes, I ride with you on that comment. I'm with you there.
Yeah, I remember writing that one now.
You took all that.
Hmm?
Last word, you were like, "Oh, I remember that." It took me to read the whole post.
Should I have stopped you as soon as
No,
I realized?
no, I
I
said
thought,
you realize you wrote that. You just said, and I was like, did it take me to read the whole thing for you to notice that you remember that?
oh, no, no, I realized um, yeah, I'm way early. This was an old one though, so you're kind of going back in time or
Oh, it
older,
was.
oldish. It
I
was
didn't.
a few weeks ago at least.
Whoa, 7 months ago.
7 months. I was not thinking that long. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be mad if you forgot that one because that was 7 months ago. Okay. Another response after that.
I spent a lot of time putting that one together, so I remember I remember. Because the editing and stuff, things don't just flow out that easily. I spend a lot. I like communicating in text more in a lot of ways because I can go and make sure it's all exactly how I want it. So, yeah, something that long took me a bit of time to compose.
I'll read a couple more of these comments. And I try to stay pretty positive too, stay in positive vibes and stay in um, places where I feel comfortable that feel not stressful, which is mostly my room in this general area. This general area has such a vibe about it. So I'm usually right here, and I'm not going to say that stops my seizures because I still have breakthroughs. I don't know. But another comment here says, positive thinking has never done anything for me, but intense anger and spite has. I graduated with honors, started an amazing career, had family, bought a beautiful home filled with pure rage and cigarettes. Self hate isn't great, but it does help you push your body to the limit. It is what you give. It is. Um, it is what you gave me the ability to have seizure in the middle of an exam, stand right back up and complete the test without a passing grade of an A. For me, ignoring my body's ignoring my body needs after a seizure was the best thing I ever did. And my mind is telling me to rest after a seizure. I keep going. Eventually, I stopped getting the tired after seizures because I think my body knew it wasn't going to listen to it anyway. I haven't had a seizure in 21 years, so it worked for me. Sometimes I tell my mom, and quote, my seizures are gone because my hate killed them. So fuck you, epilepsy. One more. It
Okay,
says, yeah.
does that poster sound like miserable to anybody else?
I missed the last like paragraph. I'm sorry I cut out there. Or I think it was a paragraph.
They ended it by saying "fuck you, epilepsy" after describing how fighting through the seizure, like the after seizure tired feeling of like ignoring your own body's needs. That fool is saying was like the smartest thing they could have ever done.
Okay,
But
maybe I
to
didn't
me, that
cut out and
yeah, that
miss
sounds more
anything
like
then. I don't know. Um, I mean, I just can't stop thinking about how impressive that person is. And wow, they're so cool, aren't they? That they can push through all of this stuff. It just, I mean, so, so what? Like, they're gonna probably end up having a pretty miserable life if they um keep thinking of themselves that highly. Um, Epilepsy has a way of finding finding a way to kick someone in the ass, and just because somebody hasn't had that ass kicking seizure yet doesn't mean it's not coming. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I feel sorry for them. They seem kind of insecure.
Did sound like that. Yeah, so I'll go to the option. It says, why should I be taking seizure med if MRI and EEG says I am good? This frustrates me because I had seizure 3 months ago, and then again on Monday. Prior to Monday, I had gotten an MRI and EEG done, and the results came back excellent. Then this Monday, that passed. I went to the ER, and the doctor there prescribed me medication for seizures. Yes, I believe you should be taking your seizure meds if you have seizures.
Yes, I feel like they opened with that question, why should I be taking my meds? And then they proceeded to immediately answer their own question.
Right.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people, when they're first first realizing that they're having seizures, don't necessarily um get that, the clear EEG doesn't mean no seizures, it means you weren't seizing then. So it's not a clear bill of health. And yeah, that's tough for some people to accept initially.
Yeah, I think you should take your medication. Um, and why should you be taking it? Because seizures are the only other option. Um, Even if your MRI does say you're good, people get good MRIs and EEGs and they're still taking their medication. Um, it's really up to you and your doctor. What you want to do, it's your body or your body. Either listen to your doctor or don't. I don't suggest not listening to him. Or if you don't, then get a second opinion. One says because you can have epilepsy with a normal EEG and MRI, two unprovoked seizures over 24 hours apart is criteria for diagnosis. EEGs only show your brain activity in real time. Some people need multiple to catch abnormal waves. Not taking medication puts you and others in danger. Another one says if you're having seizures, even if the EEG and MRI come back normal, I've been having seizures for almost 10 years and all my tests have come back normal. That doesn't mean you're not having seizures and you really should be taking the meds your doctor prescribed. Then the original poster responded, question, you're having seizures while taking medication? And then the other person responded, it took me 3 years to get up to the dosage needed to reach controlled status. I'm lucky, and the first med I took is working. Some people need to try multiple combos. Read up on other types of seizures after I had tonic-clonic grand mals. I realized I had been having focal aware seizures for about 18 months. Taking meds, the first EEG showed seizure behavior. The ones after did not. I was still having focal aware and complex focal seizures. I just didn't have one during the later EEGs. Each seizure you have makes it worse. If we had realized about the focal aware seizures earlier, I may not have started having tonic-clonics. How do you channel your aura? No joke. You feel it? Do you write it down, draw it, meditate or breathe? That fucking storms inside your head, and maybe you've even taken rescue meds since you've noticed. You have so much energy channeled in your brain, you have little chance to decide. Where does it go? The storm passes, the exhausting but terrifying thrill that is an aura that no one has ordered. You have the brain for a reason. It's time to decide. That sounds like a movie or something.
Yeah, is this their like superhero origin story? Are they gonna find out that they can channel their seizures into like some kind of crime fighting, like super energy beam shoot out of their hand or something, or probably the eyeballs, right? That's closer to the brain.
But
Um,
channel and aura, that's different. It's far out.
I, I don't know. It's I mean, I guess if it helps them relax, that would be a good thing. That's really what I do when I feel something like that. I just sit and I try to relax. I just try to think, this will be over soon. If they feel leaning into it gives them another, like their own sense of control. I don't know. It's interesting because it brings up a question about whether we have any degree of conscious control over it once something like that starts. Can we actively encourage or discourage something from building? And I don't think that that's ever been studied. Um, I feel like I remember hearing or seeing that on a question about that on Reddit. I might try to go see if I can bring it up, but somebody had asked before if if they feel like they can control their seizures by, thinking about it. Uh, I don't know. I've definitely felt like just relaxing has made the focals less distressing. I don't know if it's ever shortened them or lessen the intensity of anything. I don't know about you guys.
I can't channel my auras, but what I can do is go through some of these comments. Yeah, I feel like if I tried channeling my aura, I might turn it into a seizure, especially the one I had most recently. When I go through these comments, someone said, take your Ativan or Klonopin dissolvable tablet under your tongue. It stops the aura within 10 minutes and stops all seizure activity in the brain. I don't put up with auras, and neither does my neurologist. I have focal aware seizures, and I am so glad my neuro took them seriously and was aggressive with stopping them. Writing auras out is just insane to me now, and I can't believe doctors still allow it. Someone else says, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't have epilepsy, end quote, for a reason. It's terrible, actually. Another person said, how do you get your neurologist to give you a rescue med without them flagging you as a drug seeker? I have taken Valium after an aura and it helped a lot. Neither neurologist I have seen prescribes it. Someone said, put down any expensive or potentially dangerous items in case I have a focal aware. Sit and wait for the fear to end. Try not to scream. Tell people what's happening and get to the floor. But I usually don't have enough time. Right. The last one says, we're only that simple. What do you guys think of my friend's suggestions to stop seizures? One is stop smoking and drinking, walk in the morning when the sun comes up, and at night before the sun sets. Eat sea moss twice a day, get disciplined and food, and with food, eat steak, chicken, salmon, tilapia, sweet potatoes. However, you want them to be cooked. Eggs, avocados, fruit of any kind. Do memory games, test your brain daily. Don't push it. Get flashcards if you need to. Drink a gallon of water or at least 8 cups. I wouldn't be listening to that person.
The quit drinking, I recommend that. 6 years sober today. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Props to
on
you.
the day.
Round of applause.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
I mean, it's good. It's good. I don't miss it, but I don't know, it's been an adventure. It's getting easier the more distance I have from it. So, oh, Mike. You see Mike here?
Yeah.
Coming to share in the celebration.
Mike.
Oh, that's a big boy. Look at that.
Yep, the one eye. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the one about drinking, I could say yeah.
And and the smoking, cigarettes, nicotine.
Yeah.
Nicotine is a stimulant. So,
Yeah. So smoking and drinking, I would say.
The concerning thing about that sea moss part is that the high levels of iodine found in sea moss is the reason that a lot of doctors don't recommend it, because it can cause thyroid issues and cancer. So yeah, I'm gonna hold off on the sea moss.
Yeah, they lost me once they started recommending foods and stuff. I've had people recommend stuff like that. You need to eat this, this, and this, and like you don't know that. They just sound healthy. And that's what it sounds like. The person was telling me, like, you don't know that this is good. It just sounds healthy. So you're trying to get me on it, which healthy isn't what bothers my epilepsy. Yeah. Some of the comments here. One says, listen to your neurologist. Another one says, if I tell you what I think, the police will come to arrest me. I get it. Could be that bad. Someone else says,
okay.
What? Memory games have nothing to do with stopping epileptic activity in the brain. They really don't know how epilepsy related to diet. Another one says, none of that will stop seizures. Everybody has a trial of error, fun of figuring out the lifestyle, the best that manages things for them. It's not a one size fits all checklist For example, managing food is a big part for me because I have few allergies and sensitivities. That list up there would set me off, although also exercise helps me, but I find midday is the best time for a workout for me. Lastly, what helped me last week might fail this week. Seizures are sneaky bastards. How do you know it's going to be a seizure? Does anyone else constantly think they're getting auras, dizziness, migraines throughout the day and assume a seizure is coming? Seems like we've had something similar to this quite a few times today. They all seem worded different. But basically, how do you know a seizure is going to happen? This person says basically feeling sick and dizzy for them. We've been through these a lot. How do you know it's going to be a seizure? You don't.
I still really just don't get auras, so I never know.
Just try to do what you can to avoid your triggers.
And be prepared for. Well, I'm really bad at that. I've been going out a lot alone and without the rescue beds and in the dark. Yeah, I haven't been doing the best at keeping safeguards. But that's what I would recommend others do.
Someone said, "Am I cured?" A little over a year ago, I found out I had a brain tumor that was causing nearly daily focal aware seizures, along with 2 grand malls 9 months ago. I had craniotomy to remove the tumor, and I am beyond thankful that it came back as benign. I have started to wean off Vimpat and will likely follow with weaning off my Keppra. My husband and I have been confused on what to say when people ask if I have epilepsy. The tumor was likely the cause of the seizures, and getting rid of what it is has given me the freedom to wean off my medication under strict supervision by my neurologist. Does this mean I can completely go off my medication and remain seizure free? That I am no longer epileptic? I think once you have epilepsy, you always have epilepsy. So I'll read the first comment. It says, not necessarily. It could just mean that they're good for now. Because of the tumor cause, if the tumor wasn't the cause, then you have to think about that. But if it was the cause, then maybe. You probably need to talk to your neurologist about it. They can give you a better answer than us. I'm glad you're okay. Yeah, I think once you get the epileptic label, you pretty much just have epilepsy. I haven't heard of anyone who got anything taken out and that said, oh, you're not epileptic anymore. Unless you never got the epileptic title from the beginning. Am I going to have I'm going to have an 8-day EEG video. Any advice? I am in the process of getting a diagnosis. I had 20-minute EEG recently that showed short temporal lobe seizures. Therefore, I have an 8 days video EEG in the hospital. It's starting tomorrow morning. I'm a bit afraid, not gonna lie. Any advice? I would still be working, most likely, as I am afraid of going crazy if I stuck in a room for 8 days. Do you guys have any tips you wished you had before having an EEG that long? My concerns are mainly, how do I save my hair from having to wash it every day without conditioner? How do I deal with the fact that not being able to walk or move for a week? I feel a bit awkward about being recorded 24/7 a week, to be honest. Will I forget camera eventually? Overall, what is your experience with it?
I wish I had been focused more on having as many seizures as possible. That way you're out of it. Many of those things that you're concerned about won't matter because you're going to be in a post-ictal days of like, where am I? What am I doing here? And probably get hit with another seizure. And they might even send you home early if they get enough data. So just do your best to keep the EEGs all about the seizures and, you know, Get a crossword game if you want to just keep busy, kill
Crossword,
time.
eight
Anything to keep
eight
busy.
straight days of crossword. That would,
I
In
can make
between
that.
seizures,
yeah,
something to
I,
pass time.
yeah,
Does get boring when you're not having seizures.
maybe break it up with Sudoku every now and then in between.
Well, it
Um,
sounded like they were going to be stuck in the room. I wasn't familiar with any long EEG stays where you're actually confined to the bed. So,
No,
I mean,
no,
not
I thought I remembered them all letting me walk around.
my,
mine were too.
I
wasn't
had to
Jeff's?
stay in bed. I had
Oh, so you were confined.
3 days and I couldn't leave the bed at all. I had to lie and say that I couldn't use a bedpan, so they would bring a commode next to the bed, just so I wouldn't be able to walk to the bathroom,
Uh,
just because I had to get out of bed somehow.
did they come and watch you go to the commode?
No, no, they let me do that alone.
Okay.
So they
But they
gave
were really
you your
strict. I couldn't get
dignity
up.
there, didn't they?
I didn't care about the dignity. I just wanted to walk.
Yeah.
When my new doctor wanted me to go through another one, and I refused. I said, unless you tell them that I can walk around, I'm just not doing it. And he said, well, you have to have someone with you. Nope, that's not good enough. So we'll see. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled program.
Mark, you got any advice for anybody doing an 8 day EEG? Was that a sit in bed? I never been through that. Now for 8 days, I have to sit in bed.
Yeah, I
Shoot
haven't been
themselves in the
confined to
head.
bed. Huh?
Hit yourself
They
in the
should
head.
just shoot themselves now.
Mm.
Yeah, get it over with. Skip. I've never done 8 days. That is kind of a scary idea. 5 days was more than enough for me, and I wasn't confined to bed. I had like my own little bedroom, and well, you saw, right?
Yeah.
I did that. Yeah, so it was, I don't know, if they're confined to bed, I hope they at least have like a TV there and maybe some good Wi-Fi. Get like a Fire Stick or something, or bring a PlayStation or Xbox and stream some Netflix or something. Um, yeah, puzzles, like Kate said, something to keep the mind active. Some maybe a book to read, something if that's um something you enjoy. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the facility there will be like for them. Where I went, they had, a little kitchen common area with a refrigerator. So all of the patients were allowed to bring, some of our own whatever. So I brought some of my favorite soda to drink. So comfort food, something like that, if that's something that they're allowed to bring in. Um, Bonus if it has caffeine to try to help, you know, stimulate something. But um, I don't know. I would just basically just plan on it and pack like you're going on the world's worst Airbnb hotel stay. Something, what would you want to have if you were stuck in the worst hotel room in that, you know, yeah, just stuff to do. Oh,
Yeah, like Kate said, Sudoku. Then Mark said Sudoku for a week would drive you crazy as well. Uh, find something each and every day. Like today, I'm gonna do Sudoku. Today, I'll do crosswords. Today, I'll what's the video game?
word search.
Yeah, words with
Yeah.
friends. That passes time because if you pick like 8 friends, they don't even have to be friends. You can make them random. It'll pass through time. Some of them won't go right away. Some of them will, and you can go like that throughout days. Days will pass if you're just playing Words with Friends. Um, I haven't done it personally, just sat and played Words with Friends, but I know it can be very time consuming. That's the reason I suggested it.
Yeah. You could go start arguments on Reddit.
Right,
That'll kill a lot of time.
right. Make all kind of unknown profiles and stuff. Um,
That could trigger seizures too.
Mhm.
and
All right, but I need to hear your guys' opinion on this one. Rejected because I have epilepsy. I got out of an abusive marriage, 14-year relationship with someone I'd known for over 35 years, almost a year ago. He weaponized my epilepsy. I wasn't a good mom, snap out of it, get yourself together, as if I could control my seizures, etc., and stop me from going to important times for my son. My son chose to live with his dad because of my frequent seizures and has since been poisoned against me. I was a lucky one as I got support and housed in temporary accommodation. I was over my marriage 9 years ago as he pulled away and not even a hug since 2020. So was ready for dating and have had some dates, but as soon as I'm unable to reply as recovering from a seizure, they've all rejected me. I know that means they aren't for me, but it's so demoralizing. I'm 48 and don't want to spend my life alone. Sorry for any typos, I'm typing through tears. What would you guys say to her?
Just that I feel for her, and there's nothing really you can say
right.
that's going to make her feel better. She needs somebody physically to stand there and hug her and feel like
Yeah,
she's
especially
loved
that
and
part about her
wanted.
son.
Right.
You need another
Yeah,
support.
the son part is particularly heartbreaking.
And
And
some
it
people in
sounds
the
like, I mean,
comments are
if
choosing,
these,
go ahead.
if a lot of these people are just gone as soon as she's kind of foggy after a seizure. I mean, that time period is, you know, so short comparatively speaking. I can't help but imagine that these must be kind of, just demanding immediate kind of back on, you know, back and forth interaction if, a post-ictal state is too much for them to handle. Um, but I don't know, maybe her expectations are different than theirs were um, if she's looking for a relationship more so than these partners who were just kind of looking for quick dating or something. Um,
Here's one that got her to say thank you. This reply. This is heartbreaking to read. You absolutely deserve better, and the average person needs better seizure education, never mind family members. If it helps your hope at all, there's often people posting on behalf of their partner with epilepsy on the sub. There are outstanding people out there. It's just unfortunate how hard they are to find. We're here for you. That one triggered her to say thank you. So that one was, appropriate. That's nice. To think
Yeah,
that a
like
lot of
Jeff
people
said,
making these responses are posting on behalf of their partner with epilepsy.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they detach completely after a single postictal phase, that's a huge red flag that's not somebody to trust being around in a vulnerable state, like if you end up having a seizure around them. So, yeah, there are quality people out there around me, but
Yeah, it sounds like everything will get better for
it's,
somebody who's feeling like this, especially because I mean, who knows how much that isn't contributing to her frequent seizures. She's feeling so heartbroken to the point where it actually brings her to tears. That'll definitely get some hormones flowing. And that can fuck with seizures. Check this out, Halloween costume. Hey everyone, I've got my appointment set to get an RNS in October. It'll be a couple of days before Halloween, and I thought it'd be awesome to use my shaved head and fresh scar as a part of a Halloween costume. What do you think a good costume would be? Leaning towards Frankenstein monster, but Star Trek might be awesome too. And the comment that I
yeah,
like here is Chucky from Child's Play. I thought that was a good one.
The Red Power Ranger.
Okay,
I
might as
like
well.
those their first. I mean, the first idea obvious. I mean, Frankenstein is kind of the obvious one. But I mean, not to minimize the obvious, but the Star Trek has me kind of excited. I like that idea. You could do like a Borg drone or
That's what they
something
said.
and
Yeah,
have
they
the
said
the
Borg.
scars there and everything. You know, I would only worry about any sort of makeup or anything that you would need to do for any sort of skin coloration for either one of those, but yeah, I like their two original ideas. Um
Cool.
hmm.
Yeah, I was just
And
along the
let's see,
lines
there
of
was a
thinking a Halloween costume. For some reason, I just thought purple Power Ranger. I mean, the red Power Ranger. Um,
And what happened
you
with
could work a
the
scar into anything.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, maybe you don't want to hide the scar, so maybe you can just like rip a piece of it off.
There you
Um,
go.
did the Red Power Ranger have a scar or something? Am I missing something here?
No,
Or is it
I
just
don't
Pookie's
think
just
they're
talking
ripping it.
costumes. He's totally just going with Halloween costume.
I was
And
just,
oh,
yeah, I was
okay.
just on the
I was
costumes in
on
particular.
and I was just watching this show about the Power Rangers just before hopping on here too. It's kind of bizarre. There's synchronicity here. Things are,
Power Rangers are going to be popular forever.
huh? The Power
Power Rangers are
Rangers.
going to be popular forever.
I got something. It says seizure advice. About 5 years ago, I had a cluster of seizures abruptly quitting in an insane amount of benzos for 5 months on end. About 7 years ago, or 8 years ago, I had one at a festival after being awake for days on coke and MDMA and other stimulants. I also took a gram of pregabalin, which definitely contributed to it. Am I always susceptible to seizures due to my past? I have had I have just had a daughter, and I'm so scared that I'll have another one.
Didn't we read this one just last week or something?
Um,
Was didn't we do it with the same group of people too? I feel like I
Are
remember
you getting
hearing
deja vu,
this.
Mark? Is this your
Yeah.
aura?
Well, I don't not Nora, I think. I don't know, but I swear I remember this question and those substances because a gram of pregabalin is nuts. And I'm on pregabalin as one of my seizure meds. Um, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, after all those substances listed, and then the thing about having children, I think I don't want to say seizures are not as much of a concern, but maybe the priority could be on, lifestyle choices. Get your shit together, take care of the first daughter before you're stressed about having another one.
And don't party so hard when you're a parent.
Right? So this is a funny one saying fighting off a seizure. Insane thing to say, but have you ever had like willed a seizure away? I feel one coming on and just lock in, hyper focus on something, and eventually it passes. Usually after a couple back-to-back absent seizures, I feel a tonic-clonic coming on. So, but I don't know if anyone else has done that or if it's just me misunderstanding what's actually happening. I don't think willing a seizure away is a possibility. So it sounds like this person is probably just feeling a seizure coming on, and it can take longer from what I'm gathering. So yeah, I don't want to play down whatever they're doing, but it seems like a lot of the comments are saying the same thing. Even the whole deja vu thing, I only posted it since it happened. And that's responding to somebody saying it feels like I've won the battle for a while, but I'm only proud of myself when it's happened. And let's see. Oh no, that was somebody agreeing with them, saying that it's difficult, only happened a handful of times, but they've managed it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know about willing it away necessarily, but if you have something that gives you some sort of sense of security, some sense of control over your situation, and that helps you to calm down and lower your stress, that may help to shorten something going on. Might be my guess, either that or it would just help them to feel more relaxed about what would have happened for the same exact amount of time anyway. I don't think that you can stop a misfiring brain from within said misfiring brain, but um, that's just this misfiring brain speaking, not actively misfiring, but
Hey,
Hey,
Rick.
Rick. Good timing.
Hey,
So, Rick, we have one of those first questions we ask, and now I just gotta find it. Yeah. Okay, here we go. If costs were not a factor, would you choose to keep your current healthcare providers or change the team?
so of course there's no object. I would go back to the one that I had in Kansas, but I moved from Kansas to South Carolina. I have new insurance. So the team I have now is good, but the one that I had in Kansas was excellent. And I can't use them anymore because they're not in network and I'm not in their zone. So if cost was no object, I would definitely go back there. However, I am really happy with who I have because they're good. It's just that the other place was so excellent. Uh, so yes, I would switch if cost was done.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, what did kind of put them on that next level? Was it their material, what they had available, readily available, or more just how they treated you?
I think both. So I had so many problems with hospital systems getting misdiagnosed and being flippant about what's going on. Whereas KU Med, they were they were extra special. First, they performed a life-saving brain surgery at moment's notice. Helicopter there, boom, they got me right in. But also the follow-up care, calling me constantly. I had a PIC line installed that clogged. and we lived like 2.5 hours away. They said, okay, we'll find you an appointment. And they, en route, a nurse called and said, okay, we got you an appointment at such and such clinic that's 2 miles away. Went there and they knew everything. They had my medical history. All I did was go in there. They did what they had to do. And they weren't even affiliated with KU Med. KU Med also, every single time I went for an appointment, if I saw a different doctor, I never had to explain what went on. They came in and said, okay, you had this, and this. You saw this doctor, you saw this. We're here to talk about this. I never had to explain anything. They were on point. The nurses knew everything, the doctors knew everything. And I visited them 73 times. Each time I went to visit, it was always a great experience. And they would also call when I was en route to make sure that I wasn't hitting any traffic. And if so, I could do a reschedule. They also made sure, when I went for the second brain surgery, I had I had to get ear surgery at the same time. We had spoke with the ear surgeon. He says, oh, it's going to be hard for me to find the time when they're doing the other surgery, but I'll make it happen. He made it happen. So it was just constant on point communication, surveys constantly. And, they were really good, and a lot of follow up, and also asking how I was doing even after the fact. That's what did it.
Absolutely, definition of above and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you guys see stuff like coming in front of the screen? Any bit at all?
Yeah, a little bit of it looks like smoke coming down
Yeah.
across.
Either that or like a disco ball and you got a reflection.
No, I got the little oil diffuser machine.
Oh, okay.
How would I go about finding a doctor to treat my seizures? I recently posted asking if I was having seizure activity, and many of you suggested I did. I was wondering how I should go about talking to my doctor about this. I've been nervous at first, as the first seizure happened over 7 to 8 months ago. I wasn't able to go to a doctor. For context, I was with friends. I had a seizure. They did not take care of me or call anyone, and I was too out of it to ask to be taken care of or taken to the hospital. My PCP is often dismissive of my problems, and as often as my mother calls him, often claiming I am a hypochondriac, which I may be, but I don't think this is the case. This is the case currently. I'm scared of my mother finding out, as she will think it's drug related. It is not. I do not use drugs. I say you ask for a new primary and then you go about getting a new doctor. But yeah, if they don't all want to push you to the side and your primary is dismissive, get another primary. Well, first ask them to get you a neurologist. So you have the neurologist first, and then get a new primary. But if your primary doesn't want to get you a neurologist, get a new primary. If they're that dismissive about it. Yeah, because that's what it sounds like. You're telling them I'm having seizures and they're dismissive about it. They're probably like, oh no, you're a hypochondriac. Could be this or that. Go see another doctor. Not sure if you can go to the ER and see the neurologist. Maybe at Stanford you could, but
Hey, Lufa.
Oh, hey Lufa.
Hi, guys.
There you are. The way
Hello.
Hey, Lufa.
one and only.
Hello.
That smile. Love that smile.
I just got a killer deal at the dispensary. I basically just got everything for free. It was like, oh, I'm just so and I just got like some of the most like priciest products too, because they're having like a whole deal this weekend and stuff. And then they have their app opening up, and then whatever. And then the manager checked me out. So he gave me a $25 off discount for the manager discount just for shits and giggles. And I ended up getting $15 back when I came with the exact amount of money that I placed for my order. It was amazing. So, and he also was like, you picked some really great products. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Because when the stoner above you is like, you have great products picked out, you're like, yes, thank you. It's great. So, feel great. Very happy.
I've never seen Lufus so happy.
I'd be that happy if I got free weed too.
I mean, it wasn't free, but it was like
Discounted.
extremely discounted. It should have been over $200, and I got it. Should have been around 300, and I got it for 185.
Mm.
Now that will make you feel like a princess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are these seizures really seizures? I've been having what I call seizures since 2007. My symptoms are right side of my face, tongue go numb, drooping face and lips, slurred speech, and my right hand starts to convulse inward, almost making a fist. They last about 10 to 15 seconds. After they occur, I can become extremely exhausted and sometimes have headaches and stomach aches. My MP diagnosed me with PNES, but I'm not sure if they're even seizures to begin with. They sound like strokes. I have had many CAT scans, MRIs, and EEGs done. The medical professionals all said that there is no sign of seizures, strokes on the brain. Thank you for anyone who reads this. But do any of these really sound like seizures? My face has not went numb. My lips have not went numb. I've had slurred speech. Right hand convulsing. I wouldn't say that. I think I've had a fist that felt better when it was closed, maybe. Yeah, I don't get any of those symptoms. Not the face drooping or numb lips, tongue and face go numb. No. Anybody got any stories?
No, I mean that sounds more like it could be like a Bell palsy type of a thing, but I mean, definitely get it checked out. I've never experienced that with any type of seizures or auras.
Yeah. You missed it. I had an aura on camera. It's really fun. Yeah. Totally my first time understanding what it was. And it was not fun. There's only one comment here, and it says, how often do these happen? I'm told that seizures don't necessarily leave permanent imprints that can be seen on an EEG if these symptoms occur many times in a short period, then they might appear to be on a long-term EEG. They leave the equipment hooked up for 3 to 5 days and hope you have symptoms while it's connected. Usually requires a hospital stay, but can be performed at home. The droopy face and lips do sound like stroke symptoms, so I understand them ordering CT scans and MRIs. Note that I am not a healthcare professional by any means. I've just had some issues, some of the same issues, finding the right diagnosis. I wish you luck in narrowing it down to something manageable. Your son, 8 years old, had seizures for the first time. Of course, I called 911 and went to the ER. Blood and brain MRI looks good. It's for the first night, and I'm scared to sleep. We have to follow up with a neurologist, but can't call until Monday. Also, medication to stop next seizure, if needed, isn't available until Monday at 4 p.m. I'm scared to Google. I'm just scared. I want to buy a night monitor, but I don't know what to get. Has anyone had this happen before? Can someone offer me some helpful guidance? Definitely probably get you a camera. I think my friend Mark has the nicest one I've seen so far. Yeah, regular surveillance is pretty good. Turn the sensitivity on when he sleep, and it'll notice him moving his leg in its sleep. I mean, in his sleep. Anybody else got any surveillance?
Well, my
Cage,
wife,
Not
I don't know if
anymore,
that
but it'll
counts.
definitely be used to. What you say?
You get your surveillance yet?
No, I never plugged the Nest camera back in because it's just too sensitive. There's too much traffic at all times of the day and night, so doesn't really do the trick.
Makes sense.
I might try the Apple Watch again though. Probably just get the smaller one this time.
First comment says I have night seizures. Just had one earlier this morning, actually. Make sure he's hydrated, eats as much as possible, and reduces stress as much as possible. These are main things that will cause issues for him. If the blood and brain MRI look good, you shouldn't stress so much, as he most likely have one again anytime soon. Once he gets meds, they will help out a lot. Other comment says Sammy Alert is a product for monitoring. You should look into it if he continues to have them. I know it's very scary, but I'm 43 and I've had focal seizures at night my entire life. They suck, but you can still live your life. The original poster said those things are $450. That price for things, I guess.
They definitely cost, and then the subscriptions on top of that. Such a relief when it's not in the budget. Or not part of the budget, I mean. This one got some interesting advice. They're saying, I'm trying to get into modeling, but I have photosensitive epilepsy and I know they use strobe lights. How do you deal with it? I know you can't really say anything like medical wise. I asked the neurologist and he just said avoid it. So I want advice, want to do print commercial. I kind of thought everybody was just going to be trying to let her down easy, get a different dream. But somebody says that I'm sensitive to camera flashes, but I got contacts that give you UV protection. And apparently that made a difference. Would have never thought.
Yeah, I was thinking if they're able to wear some type of a sunglasses, they have epilepsy glasses that have filters for certain lights, temperatures. Like if I think like blue, and there's like a red light that affects people who are photosensitive, so they have sunglasses that block those. So if you're doing type of modeling where you could wear cool looking sunglasses, that might work out. But the contacts are a good idea.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool to see anybody follow through with, what they want to do. Be able to
What are
actually
some
get
of the
to it.
comments on that?
That everything else was just avoid the triggers. Trying to say nicely, get a different dream, avoid the triggers. But that one about the contacts was encouraging. Sounds like she might actually still have a chance to do some modeling.
Yeah, I got one here. It says I had a seizure at work on Saturday. Only had 2 seizures last year. So I was on my break in the bathroom. Next thing I know, I feel like I took an uncomfortable nap with a bitten lip and tongue. My manager knew about the situation, and after not coming back, she went to check on me, but that's when I was conscious. I've been really tired and burnt out from work, and some other warnings I didn't know. The warnings like having a doomed feeling. Went home early, may have to even do a sick leave or something, because I'm getting the feeling this is coming from stress. Still finding bruises, but I'm laying down. I'm really just annoyed because it was one of my shorter shifts and still had to go home early. Oh well, at least I have a timestamp. It's been 2 days. Still feel anxious. What now? Does anyone else have the same issues? What do you do to relax? Because I struggle, and because I feel if I'm not doing anything, I'm just not being productive. But self care is being productive, or so, right? I'm already taking medication, so that's not it. Um, I wouldn't say you're lazy. What do I do to relax? I sit here, I chill, and I do some things that I like doing, maybe some arts and crafts, maybe editing some videos with this little diffuser thing and have it smelling like one of 5 different things. And smells pretty good today. Yeah, if you're having seizures, one way to calm your stress is just finding things you enjoy doing anytime. And yeah,
I've heard music is good. I might try that someday. I'm kidding. Music is my go-to for that. But that's because I'm really into music, and I really like, besides for the sounds, I also like reading about how the recording sessions went, what made them think to do sound different instruments a certain way. So that's my thing. So that relaxes me.
Yeah, the music relaxes me as well. That's I have music playing all day, and that's what calms me down.
I never thought of that. Um, but yeah, um, this is the first time I really kind of paid attention and noticed the impending doom part of the aura, I guess. And it was a very odd feeling, but knowing what it was, I guess, kind of calmed me down a little bit too, knowing the signs of what I was going through. And then being here with people, asking them, this is what I'm going through. Does this sound familiar? And people saying yes. And I was like, okay, something's going on right now. Then, yeah, the person also said they feel like they're useless when they're not doing anything.
That's how a lot of post-ictal times are for me too. But then you try to get up and accomplish a normal task and just totally screw it up.
Okay, I got one here. It says MDMA and flashing lights gave me a seizure-like experience. What should I do? I go to progressive house parties a lot and usually take MDMA to dance. About a month ago, I took around 500 milligrams of MDMA pill plus alcohol plus weed at a party around 4:30 a.m. during flashing white lights and loud drums. I felt a weird spark in my body, and a friend said it looked like I had a seizure for about 8 seconds. I saw a doctor and got put on Levopit 500 XR for a month, and my EEG was normal. A couple weeks later, I went to another party with smaller MDMA pill and felt the same sparking, but only on my right hand. That hand still buzzes sometimes. Neurologist said it might be stress, so he gave me Rivotril 0.5. Last week, I went again with a similar MDMA pill dose and avoided too much light. No clear seizure, but I felt scared when the lights flashed. Has anyone else had this happen? Could MDMA be could MDMA plus flashing lights trigger seizures? Should I stop MDMA or avoid certain lights? Or is it just anxiety now?
I mean, only they can answer that question for themselves. It's a matter of risk. If once is uh, chance happening, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern. If doing MDMA at house parties is making you have adverse reactions consistently, stop doing that. That that's my solution to that. But I don't know. It's MDMA is not worth taking chances, playing with your life. You can enjoy music without ecstasy. Um,
Brett, did
so
you have something? Oh, go ahead.
yeah, Rick, I don't know if you had.
I 100% agree. You know, it's not worth it. Like you were saying, okay, once could be a weird thing, twice, all right, starting to see some patterns here, and then I wouldn't mess around with that. You know, yeah, getting high is cool and relaxing and things like that, but if it's causing this, then it's totally not worth it.
One says a normal EEG does not discount an epilepsy diagnosis. Did they happen to do the flashing lights test with your EEG? If I were you, I'd cut back on the MDMA until things are under control and make sure you're being honest with your doctor about drug use and the potential correlation. Another one says, no, you should research what it does to you. I was also curious about trying acid and or shrooms, and it says they can trigger seizure for those with or without any history of seizures. I'd stop if I were you. I've done DMT and I still smoke a lot of marijuana, which is good medium, I'd say. I'm on Keppra and Trileptal. My last seizure was pretty bad. I didn't bang myself up too badly like I used to. It happened, and I went to see Lilo and Stitch with my family, and I was in the hospital for a few hours. Then I was discharged. I've had this curse since I was 16, so I've had a lot of experience. What I've got is cord focal cord damage from an accident when I was 10. So my expert advice: stop doing acid and shrooms and go to weed. The other ones is just saying stop using MDMA, stop playing with the flashing lights and get a neurologist. Another one is don't take MDMA, and similar after that. Stressed and confused. Oh man. It's pretty long, so you guys gonna listen? Because at the end I might not remember some of what I read. All right. Here to listen.
Have you tried that AI companion thing down at the bottom? Do you know if it would be if you read out this whole thing and then would it be able to summarize it for us? Because I was looking at that the other day and I clicked on the AI companion thing and it said you need to have host's permission to get access to the AI companion tool. So I wasn't able to go mess around any further, which may have been a good thing, but um I don't know, just a thought. Since we've got all these fancy things here now, maybe we should try using them.
uh, yeah, I'm on my laptop, so I can't really do
Okay.
that.
I wonder if
I'm on about
I
2 different devices
companion
right
it,
now, so
can I ask, can I?
That's a great idea, though. We'll look into it. We'll test it out
Yeah,
before we bring it into a regular Tuesday, Friday.
okay, I got a post here though. It says stressed and confused. 26-year-old female started having seizures in January 2023 out of nowhere. No family history, no brain injuries, and no health problems. I'm a little overweight, but I've seen 3 neurologists since then, and all of them have had different things to say. The first one told me that I was having them because I was fat, and once I lost weight, to come back and he would actually see me. The second one Done the second one, done a 30-minute EEG with lights and flashing in my eyes and told me that he, end quote, was stumped. And to see someone else, the third one who I'm still seeing seems great. My first appointment, he sat me down and explained the different types of seizures and what some triggers are for other people, then asked me and my sister to explain how mine were. Here's one of my problems. I have no idea what my grandmas were like. I've had 6 to 7 in my sleep, and I mean dead sleep. The last one I had was awake and in a car, but still, I don't know what my trigger was. And another problem, I have both grand mals and absent seizures. The only reason we know for sure that I have absent ones are from a week-long EEG I had with this new doctor. I had one while looking out the hospital room window. Never failed or passed out. Just told my mom that I was feeling weird. Then boom, I was gone. Right before I had, right before I had it, I felt like I was having an anxiety attack, heart pounding, and ragged breath. It was weird. The next morning, my doctor came in and was like, "Yep, you had an absent seizure yesterday," and then showed me the test on the camera footage. Since I've seen my doctor a total of 3 times only because of how frequent I'm having seizures now, he's changed my meds and gave me new ones, which haven't worked, and took me off the meds and switched everything around. I feel like I'm going crazy. I can't do anything alone or go anywhere without bothering anyone else. I can't sleep because of the meds, and I'm afraid if I do, I'll seize and not come out of it. Then I'm gone for good. My doctor won't order any more tests to hear me out about how I am feeling while taking these meds. And the cherry on top, I have no diagnosis. Nothing. Nada. Seizures out of nowhere, no diagnosis to help me. I'm so stressed and so confused. I just want someone who will actually help me and listen. I don't care what tests I have to do or how long I have to spend in the hospital at this point. I'm afraid that if something doesn't happen soon, I'll give up on trying to help myself and stop caring. This was somewhat of a dumpster fire. I could really use some help these days. If I made this if you made it this far, thanks for reading.
Well, good thing she has doctors that are picking up on it.
I was going to call on Rick. I would really love your opinion for this one.
Well, first off, I don't believe it's the overweight part. Um, you know, back when I was having all the issues that I had the brain abscess, I was 110 pounds more than I am now. I lost weight, and guess what? I still have seizures. So it's not the whole weight thing. Um, you know, if, so I definitely think that doctor was either misinformed or didn't want to deal with things. I'm not really sure what that doctor's mindset was. When you look at, what is it, like 40+% of the world population is obese, for that person to say, "Oh no, it's because of that," that kind of sounds like the doctor really didn't want to deal with things. That's what I feel.
Easy way to brush it off.
Yeah, exactly. Brushing it off. So glad the doctors are starting to pick up on things. You might want to look at some other additional opinions from other doctors. That's what I'm thinking.
Uh, yeah. So some comments here. The ones that aren't that long. Wow. It's way more smoke than I imagined. I feel like you just absolutely told my story, but I'm just a little further behind than you. Mine started in 2014, same BS. No one could tell me how or why they started. Now I'm having all different kinds of absent grand mals to focals, all of them. It's crazy. The last neurologist I saw upped my meds and said, come back in 2 months. Bang. Okay, another one says, I've been through all that also, but not in the same way. I had epilepsy and diagnosed with it from birth. I had complications at birth. My great uncle had epilepsy at birth from unexplained reasons, and my aunt had seizures in her late teens and grew out of them in her late 20s. Going through meds is the biggest hurdle, along with finding the right dosage and the right one. I also had a seizure disorder from it and had grand mals and petite seizures and partial to complex seizures. I started off on Dilantin and I was 5, and I didn't find the right combo until I was 50 years later, along with doing a series of tests and hospital visits and stays and the implementation of the VNS. During the times I had my grand mals, I was always awake in the day, late evening, and once hot out, I was extremely exhausted and would sleep for 9 to 12 hours and be sensitive to everything around me. In my 20s and 30s, my grandmas slowly disappeared in EEGs and EKG and cranial anatomy. Then my seizures were primarily nocturnal or in my sleep, in a deep sleep, lasting 20 to 45 seconds at the longest after seeing a specialist and having seizure to implant the VNS. That's a long comment. The other ones are way longer. That's why I decided to read that one.
Okay, so Angel, I'll ask you first this time. If cost were not a factor, would you choose to keep your current healthcare providers or change the team?
I would probably keep. Wait, how is that the insurance?
That's why I'm saying if cost were not a factor. So whether they're in network, out of network, different state, whatever, would
I
you,
would
if
keep.
you had a choice of
I would
anybody?
keep. I I would keep my current uh healthcare provider. I like the
Great.
team. They get through everything. They get by, and it's easy to message them and everything. Um, Even when I need my meds, it's like they're quick with it.
Yeah, that's definitely important. And Lufa, did you hear that question?
Yes, I would probably stay with my neurology people and my psychology or psychiatrist and whatnot, but um when it comes to like um what are they called? The general PCP? No, that's a drug.
Yep.
General
PCP, primary
practitioner.
care.
That's also a drug. Okay, cool. Um, yeah, I would like to change that because right now I got this old man and Loki he feels a little pervy and he doesn't do me any well. He annoys me. And he said that he can't. He's like, yeah, your shoulder popping out and stuff is weird, but I can't diagnose you with EDS or anything like that or hypermobility unless you're like dying from it. So thanks, man. Appreciate it. It's like that's super odd though. Can I see it again? The fuck?
Okay, well, there's actions to take for that. You at least have somebody going to those appointments with you, I hope.
Hope it was just me, me and him, just me and the old man. I don't really like him. He gives me a weird vibe. I don't know. I don't know. He might be a really nice dude, but he's old, and I think it's time for him to retire. So I think that
And primary care should be the easiest one to find.
it's not. It's none of them are
There's a
easy.
nationwide shortage of primary care physicians. There's not enough of them.
There's a
Everybody, all
so
of
much.
the med school students want to go on into these different specialties and whatnot, and um, different fields that either make more money or are considered more prestigious. And A regular old family physician is seen as something that's not as desirable of a career track, and um, it's it's getting to a point where it's a real concern among a lot of experts at the whichever government agency freaks out over those things. Um, that and pharmacists, a similar thing. There's not many people who are going to school, to pharmacy school, or not enough people to replace
And
the retiring baby boomers.
I think that
So
if schooling and education for those things were more accessible, um like I know for me, I can't afford to go to school right now, even if I wanted to, even for like a really cheap one. It would really set me back a lot, and it would set my mom back a lot. And I think that's just a problem for most people in everywhere
well,
too. So I think that I feel like too, like there's not an there's they don't make it like there's not great accessibility to schooling all the time either, which is really
accessibility is a little bit less of an issue for students who have, you know, high score. I don't mean to
well.
insult you, but students who are like consistently top of their class, arrogant med school type,
Well, it
have
would
a
be easier.
God complex type thing. They want to go on to
Yeah,
be the
but
biggest and best, and primary care is not seen as biggest and best of med school career outcomes.
yes, but I'm saying like for those that are like that might have an interest in the medical field in general. Like I know for me, I've always had an interest in psychology and working maybe in a psychiatric place, but I would also be totally fine learning how to do uh, like a like your regular physician. I would love to have that sort of job too, but I don't have the accessibility to that. I think that with proper, well, I don't think anything, but I just growing up, even I don't, with the way that things just were, that there's very it's I think just
Cards are stacked against you.
like I think that the way that society is built is like certain people get to go for certain things. And even if you want to go for that thing too, just because you aren't in that category of people necessarily, it kind of means that you don't get to do that. And you're pushed aside. So it happens in many different cases for many different reasons, whether it's race, or religion, or your age, or your gender, sexual identity. There's so many different reasons that could factor in to a lot of things like that. But a big thing too is just there's so much and they
Well,
like
when
they
there's a shortage, maybe they would kind of lean back on those,
well, and there's
not be
just
so
not there's
exclusive.
like there's no funding. There's no funding to really, I feel like, for those of lower class. They really do fund the rich, and for in America at least, they really do fund the rich. Um, and I think that if there's so many people that have to um, and there's nothing wrong with it, but like donate their time in order for people to get the proper help, because our government won't fund that proper help for them. Like I remember as a kid, my mom was working 3 different jobs to support us, and it was that we were barely making ends meet. And it's I think the world is just very unforgiving in general. And then I kind of lost my train of thought.
No,
Oh,
that makes sense. It's definitely a big deal.
I also wanted to say that I'm whoever that person was that was like, I'm part of the Epilepsy Foundation. I am now part of the Epilepsy Foundation too. So just wanted to bring that in there.
Remind me, what was that about?
I don't know, the Joker person said they were part of the Epilepsy Foundation, but I'm part of the Epilepsy Foundation too. They said welcome.
So
I don't know.
does that mean you get like a newsletter?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
really know what that is.
I don't know. It's like
Yeah, Madison was going to be contacting the Epilepsy Foundation
yeah,
about.
but it's basically just support groups and stuff that aren't a podcast. That's what it is. It's the Epilepsy Foundation. It's basically just like you can meet with people, and they also offer like a pillow for if you have like if while you sleep, if you have seizures in your sleep, it helps to reduce suffocation. They offered me the pillow, but I don't think that I have a lot of seizures like in my sleep where I would suffocate. So I was like, I'll leave that for someone else that maybe will be suffocating in their sleep. But for anyone that has sleepy seizures, there's a pillow out there for you. And you can get it for free if you're part of the Epilepsy Foundation, potentially. That or it's $175. I wasn't going to take that risk.
I got something here that says prescription antidepressants and anxiety meds, promethazine, delirium. I'm 42, experienced my first 4 seizures over a week ago, coincidentally just a couple days after my dosage of venlafaxine was doubled to 150 milligrams. I initially had issues with my tongue swelling and then issues breathing. I went back to my doctor and she examined me and she said my body is reacting to the increase in antidepressants and I'm showing signs of anaphylactic shock and allergic reaction. She said, keep taking them, return to the dose I began with, continue with my other prescription pills, and then prescribe me more tablets, some antihistamines to deal with the swollen oral parts. One more tablet to add to the list won't hurt. Surely not. Wrong. Within 24 hours, I had my first seizure ever. Began in comatose state, unresponsive and vacant for 60 seconds. Hallucinations. Oh, it says for 60 seconds to hours. Hallucinations of people not here, a strange smell that wouldn't go away, and then a couple of minutes of physical seizure described me as epileptic fit. I bruised myself on the forearm, the shin, my eye, and the top of my foot. My jaw was still sore from clenching my teeth so hard. Ambulance was called and I was examined. And over the next few hours, I had 3 more seizures in the back of the ambulance, UK hospital, A&E department, and undermanned. And the paramedics were wanting wanted me to remain at home until seizure number 4. Then I was finally taken to the hospital to put on AMU ward and immediately put into queue for CT scans and neurologist appointment. He says, well, now my head is fucked up, and the most I can remember is one thing. I've lost 5 to 6 days to amnesia. Everything I wrote here has been reaccounted to me by my dad, who was present during that time. I didn't take prescription meds. I don't have seizures anymore. Wasn't a question in there, and
Yeah, I,
I had to read the whole thing just to find that out.
Yeah. I was like, where's the question?
I thought I was going crazy,
No,
or something, or just too distracted with this AI companion thing.
I
Which,
mean,
thank you
Phantom,
for approving the access to it. It's kind of interesting to see. You can ask it questions about what's happened in meetings so far, what's been talked about, you know,
Phantom
especially with other
smells and
people.
hallucinations are definitely could be part of auras. So
That patient definitely
Um,
sounds like they're gonna have to, plenty of luck taking notes, noticing any trends. But that's the thing about having like different kinds of seizures. Sometimes different triggers are, better or worse for those, and it could be a, different time of the month or whatever. There's just a lot of factors that actually do influence how your seizures happen. So it sounds like that
they
patient
mentioned,
definitely has a lot to.
sorry. They mentioned early on, promethazine, which is an antihistamine. So I don't know particularly how it acts, if it's an atypical antihistamine or if it's more um, um, similar to just something that always raises a red flag in my mind. Um, I don't know if they're aware of that.
promethazine just isn't good for you when you have epilepsy, basically. It's a no go.
I don't know if it's a no-go or not necessarily, but antihistamines are just something that makes me cautious just because of how um, adamant my neurologists have been about Benadryl.
Benadryl related to that? Is it like some kind of different substance? First one they mentioned, was that a medication or was that actually an antihistamine?
Uh, pre, pre, I don't know. I heard promethazine, and promethazine is
Yeah,
an
yeah. What
any.
is that? Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, I think it's a prescription strength antihistamine, so it might not be in the same category as Benadryl is, but um,
We talked about this a while back, but what do you guys think about, with the direction that cars and driving is headed? Would you ever trust absolutely anybody with epilepsy in a car? Even if it was, supposedly all the safety features and I don't want to call it a robot, but
I
yeah, would
said,
would you
would
ever
I
trust
or
any of
do
those
I?
like auto? Yeah, I guess these cars are kind of out there, but either way, would you or do you trust anybody on the road that has ever had seizures?
No.
no.
I
What do you
don't
say?
know. It depends on how far the the self-driving technologies might get and
Really good out here. I was just gonna
how
say that.
severe the epilepsy is the patient has. Um, if they're really not and never have experienced significant seizures, or frequent significant tonic-clonics, and have, we have reached a point where um, self-driving cars are not running into the back of stopped garbage trucks. Um, it's not outside of the realm of possibility that we could see these technologies out on the road in our lifetime. And, you know, what we have now take for granted day to day was, you know, unimaginable 20 years ago. So, I'm gonna say a tentative yes. I might trust a person with epilepsy out on the road eventually. Asterisk, 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 you know.
Yeah, a person on the road with epilepsy. Yeah, just under certain circumstances. I mean, under certain circumstances. Like if you're capable to drive and you have a license again, then yeah, I mean, yeah. But if you're not even under control and you don't even have a license and you're still suspended and stuff like that, don't even want to go around the corner.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. Every comment that's a book is are people really passionate about why that shouldn't ever be. They just give all the reasons in the world why it's they just see it as like selfish for anybody to get behind the wheel, even if you're well controlled. But
Yeah,
that probably is really personal.
I wouldn't even trust like myself, because for me, an example, an absence seizure, don't know when I will go out to, you know, like get ready. You're going to have a seizure, put the self driving or whatever, or, you know, a tonic clonic might hit of something that might take it out of the uh auto driving feature and put it into a manual driving feature. I wouldn't trust myself. Yeah.
Out here, they have the self-driving cars. A few of them have run into the back of garbage trucks, as Mark has said, and specifically they said garbage trucks. They haven't said any other cars or anything, but I see them every now and then on the freeway, and it's just fun to look at. Like, yeah, I guess just like, oh, that car's driving itself, but nothing too special about it. You can call them. I believe they come get you and take you to your destination. But I think it's only a two-seater as well, so that's another thing. Not like a family can ride.
Please take your medication as prescribed or whatever works for you. We're not doctors.